Hey everybody, welcome back to TRUtalk. As always, my name is MPI, joined by my co-host, Mallet Editor. Mallet, hello.
Hoi. Hoi.
How are you?
I wouldn't ask that.
Okay.
That'll take too long to get into.
It's been a day. It's been a day for us.
It's been a terrible day, but I have tea.
You have tea. And also, on top of it, we have a wonderful guest who is a longtime TRU Fam member. But the first time we've had him on the show, DemonSalvo, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How's everybody else out there doing? And thank you for having me.
Ooh, he's got fancy filters. He's got a better, he's got a higher production quality than we do, and we're the hosts.
We have production quality?
Hey, it's on, isn't it? That's some form of quality.
That's an achievement for us. That's an achievement for us.
I stand by that some form of quality.
Turning on time. What is this? What is this madness?
Yeah, so DemonSalvo has been around the TRU Fam for a long time. If you don't recognize the name, he has been through some name changes, but we'll talk about all that tonight, I'm sure. But we have to do the interrogation questions. So, we're going to start things off. Give us a brief overview of who you are as a streamer, what your channel's like, and how you got started on this whole crazy journey of live streaming.
Well, I actually started streaming because I wanted something more out of gaming. Yeah, granted, I played mostly one-player games similar to like Subnautica, Kerbal Space Center, you know, a lot of the niche games, and Final Fantasy 15. So, you know, to me, just playing a game and not having somebody to converse with other than the characters on my screen, which I do quite often, it's just one of those things that I figured, what the heck, I'll bring in streaming to try to add that extra level to it and have some fun with people. And, well, there he goes, messing everything up.
I was turning you up a little bit. Discord doesn't let you do it in full screen.
What?
Whatever. Clicking on somebody's different in full versus not full screen. Ugh.
And hence production quality.
Yeah, go figure.
Please continue.
Yeah. But, yeah, but otherwise, like I was saying, I play mainly one-player games, and I try to have fun with it, talk to the, you know, the chat as much as I can, and the characters on my screen. Like, you know, when somebody goes running the wrong way, I tell them, hey, where do you think you're going? You know, just wondering where the heck my character's going, and when I meant for him to go the other way. But, you know, that's where it gets fun, you know, especially with Kerbal Space Center. Send them off into space and just let them go floating through the solar system. And never come back.
Were you one of those people that would have the roller coasters and Roller Coaster Tycoon go careening off into a lake for no reason?
If I actually had those games, I probably would.
I like you. You're fun.
But then there's also times I'll play like Destiny 2 with other people, you know, get big groups going, whatever. Especially when we got multiple streamers.
That's
you know,
always fun.
All of us streaming on our own channels and, you know, having fun with it all. Hey, Sodomi.
Sodomi's here.
Sodomi's here. That guy.
Yay!
I know that guy.
I love Sodomi.
Who is that guy? I'm trying to remember.
I got a great story about Sodomi, actually. I'll tell it later. He's
Uh-oh.
No, he's it's a story about how nice of a guy he is.
Oh, okay.
He's awesome.
He's okay, I guess. So, this one is going to be a long answer for you, I think. Like we said before, you have gone through some name changes, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with any of that. But the question is, what's the story behind your username? So now I want to know, what were the story behind the other ones and how we got to where we are today?
Okay, well, I started off as Silent Ghost 73. You know, I've always wanted that kind of like, I don't know, almost invisible feel, but yet I'm still there. So I'd always be silent. Yes, that's me. You know, but the thing that bugged me most was having that 73 at the end.
Yeah, numbers at the end.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
I don't either.
And
I totally get that.
I saw that there was a silent ghost, but unfortunately, even though they never log in under that name, it's still not been vacated, so I can't use it.
Mm.
So then I go over to Silent Dragonfire, which, well, I don't know. I was playing with names, see what I could do to get away from the numbers, but after a while, it just didn't feel right. You know, even though my wife was doing great work on my graphics and everything, it just did not feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I can be kind of a opposite of a gentleman, I'll just keep my language clean. You know,
this is a family show.
Yeah, exactly. And being that I'm former military, I came across DemonSalvo. Now, Demon pertains to a part of me that is still part. Hey, wait a minute! You misspelled my name in the dang title, bud.
I did?
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
Demon
you
Salvo.
kinda
Oh,
did.
thank you.
Production value, everybody.
Look, man, Twitch made this new dashboard, and it just doesn't work at all.
I mean, to be fair, I should have noticed that well before now, and I didn't because I wasn't paying attention. So.
Yeah.
We love you, MPI.
You know, with demons, you know, they are kind of, well, a real pain in the rear end. And, well, I can be. And there's part of me that used to be a very violent person, that used to be very explosive. And even though that part of me is no longer coming out, it is part of who I am. And then, of course, the salvo, being from the military, like with artillery and whatever, you know, I figured, why not? You know, somebody who's pissed off and angry and ready to throw a bunch of rounds downstream. So it just came together just right. And it felt right once I hit it. And once that feels right, I'm sure, as you know, with your own names, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I have no numbers, no spaces. And so it worked. It hit all the marks for me.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, good. I'm glad that you settled on one that you like, and you could get rid of the numbers, because that can be hard. Or having like underscores or X's in front of it, like we all used to have on Xbox Live back on the 360. Oh, those were the days.
And Battlefield and everything else.
Yep. Back in the like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Them were the days.
Those were the days.
So, I know that you've been on a break from streaming. So, we'll twist this question a little bit to fit better for you, because before the show, you were talking about that you already have planned to come back to streaming whenever you can. So, what do you love about streaming so much, and what has been keeping you motivated to come back to it after being away for so long?
The thing I love about streaming so much is getting to meet people, especially globally. You know, yeah, you could do that on Facebook, whatever, but you don't have the interaction there that you do like with streaming. You know, people talk or chat, whatever. So it's a lot more interconnected than most of the other social medias out there. Granted, they're there watching me, but they're still talking to me at the same time, and I'm talking to them. It doesn't matter where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
And as for coming back, the thing that I really wanted to do is just, one thing about streaming is it helped me relax. You know, I always had my nighttime slot. It was quiet. I could do what I needed to do, play what I wanted to play, and not have to worry about anybody, except for one or two times I've actually had to use the hammer on a few people. But hey, yeah, I don't give people second chances. You come in with the wrong thing, you're gone. You know, I like to have a nice relaxed atmosphere. And yes, I am marked as 18 or above, but you know, I do let words slip because former military. But yeah, so that, I think, is my main reason to want to keep coming back, is being able to relax, have fun with people I've met, through Twitch, and grow. I mean, I've got people that have helped me figure out what's going to be better for setups and what's not, and that helps out quite a bit. Because at first I was just guessing, and all I had was my Trident 3 from MSI. Well, now I've got the Trident X from MSI, with my Trident 3 being my second dedicated streaming PC. So that way, the X is taking all the load, and then the 3 is what's going to take care of the rest. So now that things are getting better cameras, better mics eventually too, but got to start with the hardware first.
Yeah, and I mean, upgrading as you go is, I feel like it's just kind of part of it, you know? Whether it's you're upgrading your hardware, you upgrade your, like your overlay or your graphics, anything like that. Your stream won't stay the same for long in every way. Things always change, and it's part of the fun part for me, I think, is experimenting and seeing how you can make things better or even more just like more streamlined.
Oh yeah, and you know, you never know who you learn it from, whether you're just practicing on your own without getting anybody to step in and say, hey, this might work better for you or whatever. I think that's a big part of what helps with streaming as well.
Oh yeah, like I feel like streaming is one of those few things that a majority of people want to help everyone. Where like you get to a lot of things and it's people are competitive and they want to block everyone else out and be the only person to make it. Where I feel like streaming, it's like, hey man, I went through the same thing. Here's how you can do it better. Or like, I have an idea for how to grow on something you're already doing. And people always want to help each other with something in some way. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. Definitely
so
cool.
We've got one last question.
Okay.
And then we'll get on to Mallet's Sodomy story because I'm really curious what this story is now. So I know that you have streamed for a while because we've both been around the TRU Fam for a long time, and that's how we met, was through TRUgaming. And I mean, thinking back about it, I've been full time for a year and a half, and I used to watch you at my old job before I left and came to do what I'm doing now. So it's been at least like 2 years since I've known you. Believe it or not. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's been a while. So you might have a great answer for this, and that is, what is your favorite memory from streaming? Be it meeting someone, an event, a crazy moment that happened, anything at all. Just what's kind of your favorite thing that you can think of from streaming?
Well, besides at the moment getting affiliate, honestly, I think my favorite thing out of all of it was meeting a lot of the people in the TRU family, even though it's always been, you know, through Discord or in the channels or whatever. You know, just meeting a great group of people. And that, to me, is what's probably made it the best out of all of it. Because if I had just came in here, not had anyone, you know, and suffered in growth because nobody's coming around, well, you know, it helps meeting the right group of people to help you out. So I would have to say that's probably my favorite thing about it all. Because I haven't really met too many except for Dan the Dapper and Velok. Met them both because they're both here in Michigan with me. And other than that, that's about it.
Awesome. That's a super good memory. I think that's like probably like one of my top ones too, is the people that I've met. We talked about this, I think, last week on the show. Or I might have talked about it on Stream Key. I talked about it on a podcast last week. I don't remember which one. But I mean, I've met people on Twitch that came to our wedding, and that was the first time I ever met them in person, was at my wedding. So it's like you can make amazing friends on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
And
that was
even
a fun party. So.
And even if you never meet in person, like if you just hang out online in Discord calls and just typing to each other in Discord, it's like, I mean, isn't that what you do with a lot of your friends on Facebook anyway? Like you just comment on each other's stuff and chat back and forth. How's it different?
Yeah,
You are
pretty
not
much.
wrong.
So
You are.
I
not
feel that.
wrong.
And I think too, like you said, with the TRU community is just you make a lot of friends through that, and you also get a lot of people who also want to succeed, so they want to help you succeed. Like they know how hard it is to stream and grow and work, and then how hard it is to work your butt off, and then some days not see any people come in or see like you didn't get any new follows that day or whatever it is. So they know they've been through it, so they're there to help you too. So.
Yep.
I think you're super right, man. I like it. So then, Demon, is there anything else you want people to know about you, about your stream, anything before we throw it to Mallet with this super juicy Sodomi story?
You're acting like it's something salacious.
Well, the only thing I could think of right now is just watch around early May, because I graduate with my associates May 1st.
Whoop, whoop.
So sometime shortly after that, I will be back on the air. And
Okay.
who knows what I'm going to do at that point. May just go crazy.
That's a long time away. You got a
It
lot
is.
of time to figure it out.
Yep.
So yeah, there it is, guys. We'll remind you of that before the end of the show to keep a lookout for his streams coming in May, and to make sure that you congratulate him on graduating school. That's awesome.
It is, and thank you.
All right, Mallet. I gotta hear this. I gotta hear the Sodomi story. I have so many thoughts running through my head of what it could be.
It's nothing crazy. It's just you want to know.
See,
how
you
nice
say
of a-
it's nothing crazy, but I know Sodomi, so it could be crazy.
You just want to know. Okay, so this is how nice of a guy Sodomi is. Okay, so my first time meeting him in person was at TwitchCon in 2018. And if you remember anything about TwitchCon in 2018, its nickname on the internet was LineCon.
That sounds about right.
2018. That was with all the lines, like literally, had all this big talk about security, and then all of a sudden, like people were waiting in lines for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew into San Jose. I got in that morning, early. Well, I got in that morning, like late afternoon-ish. It depends. So I'm going to get in this super long line in the middle of downtown San Jose. Right? I'm already creeped out because this is a big city that I've never been in before, and there are lines wrapped. And this line is wrapping through an underground parking deck.
Jeez. That's intense.
It was terrifying, honestly. I was actually really freaked out. Sodomi, who I had not met in person at this point, and he already had his badge, waited in line with me for another 2.5 hours so I wouldn't be out there by myself.
Oh, what a good
You
guy.
want to know how nice of a guy that man is? He waited in a line that he had already waited in, that he didn't need to wait in again, for almost 3 hours so I wouldn't be alone in a super creepy line that wove through an underground parking deck. So that's how nice of a guy Sodomi is. That's my story.
Good guy Sodomi out here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keeping friends safe. Helping them get through those lines. God, lines suck.
San Jose was, like, honestly, I was on edge that entire trip because it's like, I'm gonna die if I'm not on edge.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was so creeped out. I just was. It's like, and I think everybody else was too, because it's like Valak was there, Dan was there, like a bunch of us were there, and it's like none of them would let me go anywhere by myself. So I don't think I was the only one on edge that trip. It was so weird.
I mean, that's good though. Like, it's hard to find that like good line, I think, when you travel, because like that, like we've talked about it before, that's how I am when I drive like 45 minutes from my house.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just like I'm constantly like on edge, and I have really bad anxiety. But like I think
that kind of edge though.
being in like groups like that though at cons is so helpful.
Yeah, but even then I wasn't. It's like, you know, I've told you sometimes I kind of know things before they happen just because of intuition.
Mm-hmm. Trust in your gut.
It was like that.
Hmm.
It was like, if I relax, something bad is going to happen. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not seeing anybody around me or anything like that that's making me, like, specifically feel unsafe. But if I relax, I'm going to get hurt or worse.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like that literally from the moment I stepped down in San Jose, and I could not relax until I got on the plane to go home.
Man.
So it's like, it was more than just like general travel anxiety. And I've been in far bigger cities and walked around alone at 3 a.m. and felt perfectly fine. Like, I've walked around alone in London at 3 a.m. and felt perfectly comfortable. But I couldn't do it here. And it was like literally every sense was on fire. Like even I had trouble sleeping because I could not relax enough to feel safe. So it's like, I don't know what it was about that particular weekend in that particular place, but it was more than just general travel anxiety. It was something was wrong and I don't know what it was. And I still don't know what it was even over a year later.
Well, I'm glad nothing bad happened and that you're
too.
good now. Everything's okay.
Me too.
There's an organization that goes to a lot of big cons. I don't know if they go to TwitchCon or not. I bet they do. But it's called Take This, and they make a room in like convention halls and hotels, and they take an extra like meeting room or just a big room that they can be around, and just fill it with like couches and beanbags and like really comfy stuff, and it's just like relax room. So
That's
you just
nice.
go up to them and it's like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you need to get away from someone who's being creepy, he wanted to get away from us because we were being creepy.
Not that creepy. Come on.
There he goes.
I don't know what happened.
But
Anyway.
they basically they make an extra room so if anyone needs to like get away from the con, but they don't want to leave and like go all the way back to their hotel or anything, like they just need a little bit of time, you can just like go in there and just chill, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're a super cool organization because like I feel like if I ever went to something like that, I would live like half of the time in that room.
I don't blame you. I mean, I'm always one to find like a corner in some like far off area usually near a bathroom, because you don't really have people hanging out outside the bathrooms.
Yeah.
To like just breathe for a second. Because one of the cons I went to this year, they had some of the cast members from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh,
including
wow.
including Tim Curry. So the lines for that wrapped all the way around the convention hall pretty much, and it's just like I didn't even want to go to that panel, but it's like there are too many people out here in line. I don't like crowds.
Yeah, I don't either. That's like the giant street festival where I live.
Yeah, you post pictures of it.
I hate that thing so much.
Then why do you go?
I don't go. I didn't go this year at all.
Okay.
But like they post a lot of pictures about it, like about updates and stuff. They also did a half pot drawing this year that reached over $1 million. So they talked about that a lot. But like you go to that thing and it's like people just forget how to walk properly. Like everybody kind of like shuffles, like they waddle like this through the whole thing.
Because
like,
you don't have a choice.
Go. If everyone walked normally, we would be fine. It's like the one person starts the shuffle and it ruins everything. But yeah. Yeah.
DemonSalvo, how are you with crowds?
I suffer from social anxiety disorders, so crowds and me don't mix.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel
we'd all be great friends because we'd all be great friends hanging out together because we'd all need at least like 20 feet of space in between.
Right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel I have like a mixture. Like I like to hang out with people and I like to be around friends and people, but it's like I do it and then I've done it and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm going to go home and I'm going to recharge for a day or so and then we can do it again. But then there's some people who are like every single day they're like, I got to hang out with 50 people and I'm like, nope.
Oh, I know.
I did it on Saturday. I'm done with it until like Wednesday.
Yeah. I was actually kind of laughing because at the party we had at your place after your wedding, that one corner of your basement was like where all of the streamers were hanging out because it's like there are too many people at this house party.
Yeah.
So we were all in the corner.
Sounds about right.
It was hilarious. It was really funny actually because it's like, why not? Why not?
Definitely.
I have a paper tube. I'm excited.
We didn't wrap any Christmas presents this year, and it makes me happy because every time I do it, Kate makes fun of me because I'm terrible at it. I'm awful at wrapping presents. Like, just awful. I can't do it. That's why I'm glad that they make bags. I just drop everything in a bag. I'm like, there you go. She's in the other room yelling at me to tell a story.
Hi, Kate.
So, it was, I guess it was our second Christmas together. Yeah. She wanted a crock pot. So I ordered it. And it gets there, and I'm like, I'm going to try to wrap this thing.
Oh, no.
I ran out of wrapping paper because it was too big.
Yeah,
And, like,
crock-pot.
I couldn't get it to stay. So I just put it back in the big Amazon box that it came in and put a bow on top of it. I was like, I mean, I guess I could have drawn, like, some snowflakes on it or squiggles or something, but I don't know. I don't wrap presents. I don't get it. Why are we? It's a waste. Just hand me my gift and be like, here you go, bro. Or don't get me anything. That's okay, too. You don't have to buy me stuff.
Okay, so is that your worst wrap job ever?
Just a cardboard box? Yeah.
Demon, what's your worst wrap job ever?
I actually had to do a cellophane.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's great.
Wrapped up somebody's car.
I always wanted to do that, but I never did it.
You could do it to your annoying neighbors.
Oh,
There you
God.
go.
Then they got to talk to me, and I got to deal with it. It's a whole thing.
They wouldn't know it was you.
Who else is it going to be?
I'll fly up and do it.
I'll join.
Yeah, come on. We'll make a party out of it. MPI Con 2020. Woo!
That'd be an interesting convention. What'd you guys do at the convention? We saran wrap people's cars.
I was wrapping presents last night, and at least some of the stuff was in boxes, and it doesn't look like they're in boxes by the time I'm done with them. I always end up with too much wrapping paper.
Oh, on the actual thing? On the gift? Yeah.
So it's like, it looks like it's way bigger than it is because about half of it is wrapping paper that's kind of condensed down.
Have you guys ever had this happen to you or done it to someone where you put like a gift card in a small box and then put it in continuously larger boxes and wrap each box individually?
We did that to my dad when I was a kid and ended it with a lump of coal inside the box.
That's awesome.
We wrapped it beautifully too. Perfectly curled ribbons and beautiful wrapping paper perfectly put on and all the tissue paper and extra boxes.
Oh, you guys really went all out.
Grandma and I totally did. And then it came down to, it was a lump of coal in a bag that we hang on my parents' Christmas tree every year. We gave him an actual present, I promise, but it was
still funny though. Have you ever done that to anybody or had it happen to you, DemonSalvo?
No, I haven't, but I have accidentally wrapped an empty package.
Ooh. How hard was it to convince that person that you didn't know it was empty, that it was an accident?
Was it your wife? Was it your wife?
No, actually, it was my ex-wife. Maybe that's why.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I unwrapped an empty box.
Well, what's wrong with that? It was Christmas.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this laughing's making my head hurt worse.
So, I had that happen to me when I was a kid. My nephew, who's older than me, as weird as that sounds, I know it's a whole thing. He got me a gift card and put it in a bunch of boxes. So I had to unwrap all these boxes at my birthday party in front of all my family and friends and look like an idiot. 2 Christmases ago, we did the same thing to him. We got him back, like, all these years later, and we videoed the whole thing, and he was just like, what is happening? Why is this happening to me? I was like, you remember when you did that to me when I was 9 years old? Payback.
How much older is he than you?
He's math 13 years older than me. Something like that. 13, 14 years older than me.
Your nephew.
Yep. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's a whole thing.
No, I'm not. My head hurts enough as is.
Yeah, I'm 26, and I have a great niece who will be 23 in January. There you go.
Okay.
So that same guy, though, the same nephew, he has 2 younger brothers, and they are both like the only people in the family other than me that play video games. So he bought one of them like an Xbox gift card or a game or something one year, but he put it in when the Kinect was first coming out for the 360. He put it in the box for the Kinect. And it was for the older brother, so the older brother opened it and, like, shoved it in his younger brother's face without opening the box. It was like, look what I got, idiot! You can't even play with it! This is mine! And, like, just made a huge deal and, like, rubbed it in his younger brother's face and then opened the Kinect box. He was like, oh, it's just a gift card. It was so funny. It's been years and we won't let him live that down.
Why would you? Why does anybody ever let anybody live in
it? Was just so funny. Like, just look what I got. He's like, oh, okay, this is not what I thought it was. It's wonderful.
Best cold.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch. It was great because the person who gave it to him didn't say a word. He was just like, I'm just going to let this play out and see how it goes. It was awesome. Oh, man. It was some years later. But my dad bought everybody iPads for Christmas. He still thinks this is funny. I still laugh at it because I like dad jokes. But nobody else likes it as much as we do. He bought face wipes that were EYEI pads because they were like face wipe pads. And he put them in everybody's stock. He's like, all right, everybody got iPads this year. They were like, what are you talking about? He's like, I got everybody iPads. He wasn't lying. He wasn't wrong. I loved it because I knew what was going on. I was like, okay, sure. And he showed me, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
Oh, my gosh.
I liked it. Nobody else did, but whatever.
That's bad. So I found out my dad is condensing his 2 comic book rooms into 1 comic book room.
Is he getting rid of stuff, or is he going to find a way for it to all fit?
No, he's getting a bigger room because my sister's moving out, and my sister's old room is bigger than his other 2 comic book rooms put together. So, my sister's old room's going to be his new comic book room, and then comic book room number 2, which is also my bedroom when I'm there, is going to become a guest bedroom. No, I don't think Dad does not get rid of comic book stuff. It's great because he's easy to buy presents for. He's going to be shocked that I didn't get him something comic related this year.
That's how my dad used to be with Elvis. You could always find something Elvis related, and it would be the perfect Christmas gift. Or the Dallas Cowboys. You get any of those things, and he would hang it up, or it would be like another movie, for like another Elvis movie, because those were all great films, or something like that. So it was always easy to get him gifts. And now he's like, I don't want stuff anymore. He's like, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. So it's like, now it's like, buy me socks or a shirt. And I'm like,
yeah.
Also easy, but.
Demon, do you have a football team?
Detroit Lions.
That's fair.
Ooh.
You live around there, so that makes sense.
I am so sorry. But then again, I'm a Panthers fan. I can't really apologize for anybody. This was supposed to be our year. It's an odd numbered year and everything.
It wasn't.
Nope.
It wasn't. That's what
My
you
soul
get.
hurts.
That's what you get.
For what?
Talking so much smack.
You know I know where you live, right?
That's fine. That don't mean you didn't talk smack.
I can smack you on the head with this.
Did you guys watch Drew Brees make history last night?
No, but I saw it after the fact.
It's pretty cool. I'm not really even a Saints fan.
Well, he's in my division and I hate him. But
that's fair.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool. Oh, did you see the Patriots got caught cheating again?
Yeah. How? I watched the video.
Why the Bengals?
You're right. Of all teams, the Bengals. But I watched the video where they were like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And he's like, what do you mean you didn't know you couldn't do that? How is that not obvious, dude? And he's like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'll just delete it right now. He's like, that's not the point.
Well, that actually makes it worse. By them saying, oh, we'll delete it. You know, we don't have to talk about this anymore.
No, like, someone caught them. And, like,
I know.
It's like he's holding the camera down to the side. And he's like, I'll just delete it. He's like, no. That's not how that works. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll just throw away the drugs, officer. That's not how that works.
I mean, but why the Bengals?
I have no idea.
Like, what? Of all teams to cheat against, why the Bengals?
No one would expect it.
Yeah, you ain't wrong, but
That might
you didn't
be
need
why.
that to be. I mean, are you guys that desperate? Like,
Stat padding.
yeah, no
I
kidding.
guess.
But it's like, I watched the footage and it's just like, they're going to have to come down hard. And I've seen some articles suggesting that they banned them from the playoffs this year.
I wouldn't be
They
mad
should.
about that.
I agree. I mean, they've already been fined heavily for the same bloody thing. This is not their first offense cheating, let alone their first offense cheating this way.
Also, you got enough. Just go away for a little while.
Seriously.
Take a
Yeah.
break.
Okay, do I believe Belichick when he says he hadn't seen the footage? I actually do. Do I believe them when I say, like, you know, they weren't told to do it?
No.
Do I feel bad for the poor cameraman that's going to be taking the fall for this behind the scenes?
Yup.
Yeah. But, I mean, honestly, I think at this point they've been fined to oblivion for this exact thing. So fining clearly hasn't stopped them.
Well,
You
yeah.
don't want to start vacating wins. But especially since you can probably either that or I say, like, you know, you make it so they're not allowed to win the division. Because the Bills are good enough to where it wouldn't be like a NFC South 2014 situation where it's like a team with a losing record. So it's like you give the crown to the Bills, maybe put them in as a wild card, or you ban them all together and put in like the next top team, next team. And Fishhook, I've had a rough day, and I like having this thing in my hand because it's like something tactile that I can move around to stop my massive amounts of anxiety right now. So
It's like talking with your hands, but with a cardboard tube.
I am half
Yeah.
Italian, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's okay.
So it's like, honestly, it makes me feel better just touching something. As weird as that sounds, well, not even weird. I know it's like a normal thing, but it makes me feel better. And plus, it's a tube of cardboard. Who wouldn't be wielding it like a club? Duh.
That's true.
Not wrong.
I was trying to think what else to do with it, but I don't know what else you would do with it.
You bash people on the head with it.
I prefer donk because it makes a real good donk sound when you donk people on the head with it. It's like a donk.
Like this.
Yeah, donk. Exactly. That's why I like it. It's like donk. But yeah, that's why I
bonk
prefer
Tom Brady on the
saying
head for it.
donk on the head with that.
I'm gonna go bonk Tom Brady on the head with it.
There
I mean,
you
that's
go.
fine.
I feel so bad for the Lions, though. Like, there have been a couple games this season that they flat out should have won that they got screwed out of by the refs.
That's been the whole league this year, man. It's killing me.
Yeah, I know, but the Lions have had it particularly bad.
Well, yeah, every year it's always them playing the refs. It's never the other team.
Oh, yeah. Amen. So, who's going to win the NFC East? That's the real question here.
I don't know. I'm like not ready to call football anymore because I keep thinking I know what's gonna happen and then nothing happens. Like I'm wrong. I'm wrong every time. I know who I want to win, but
Well, yeah, because you're in the NFC East.
I have little faith at this point that that anything's gonna make sense.
Demon, what do you think? Who's winning the NFC East this year?
Well, I'd give you an answer if I'd actually seen any game this year at all.
They all suck,
Yeah.
except they beat us.
There's only been one. There's only been one game I've watched this year, and that was the Army Navy game, and that one sucked because Army lost.
Oh, is that the one over the weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one everybody was talking about this weekend. I didn't realize Navy won. That explains why my grandparents were so happy.
Yeah, but you know the thing is with Navy is they went down 3 years and lost, and you got all seniors that haven't won once against Army. So that's where their heart came from. Is they wanted to graduate
Having
with
beat
one
Army.
win.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that retribution, like like the comeback story for the ages kind of thing. Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
and the quarterback they got, Perry, he's something else. I'll tell you what, if he decides to go with the new executive order and go into the NFL instead of doing his military service, whoever drafts him are going to have one hell of a quarterback. That boy, he ran more yards than any of his running backs did.
Dang.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, the man is on fire. In fact, the first 2 years he was there, he was actually running back. Then he went quarterback, and then the coach benched him the next year. And then he came out this year, and coach was like, "Yeah, I know, I was stupid for benching you last year."
Hey, it takes a wise man to admit when he's wrong.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was a good game, other than Army losing.
I'm sorry.
At least it wasn't a huge blowout, though. It sounds like
2 touchdowns and 1 field goal. So 17 points.
Not bad.
No.
I'm having way too much fun with my tube of cardboard right now.
That's what I'm gonna get you for Christmas. I'm just gonna save every tube of cardboard that I can, and those will be yours the next time you visit.
Save it for my birthday.
Okay.
Because my birthday will be closer to what next time I'm coming up.
Okay.
Are we sure Mallet isn't part cat?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to get her some big refrigerator boxes that she can climb up into and have fun.
I've got too many boxes in my apartment as is because it takes way too much effort to throw them out. But also because I'm moving soon and I'm actually starting to save my boxes so I can start packing.
Smart idea.
Smart.
Well, I figure even if it's going to be a couple of months, better to go ahead and start having boxes.
Yeah, it's hard to have too many boxes when you're trying to move.
Well, there's that whole issue where I have too many clothes for anything. So, yeah.
I still think you need to get those bags that like suck the air out of the bags and like condense the clothes. It might be easier to move that way.
I've got nowhere to put them. I've got nowhere to put the bags. That's the problem. Mom and Dad said I can take some of my stuff to their place, but that takes effort. So.
Well, that and then if you want to wear it, you got to go to their house to get it. That's a whole thing.
Well, I'd put like summer stuff in there. That would be like shorts and things like that I'm really not wearing right now.
See, I don't have that. Like, I mean, like, I guess I'm not gonna wear like some of my shorts that I normally would wear, like if I leave the house, because like if I'm at the house, I'm wearing gym shorts. Don't matter.
Well, gym shorts and regular shorts are different. I'm talking like shorts that I would leave the house in.
Yeah, but I get to that and I'm like, I got like 2 pairs of shorts, and that's about it. Everything else I have is just like t-shirts.
Yeah, I've got plenty of those.
And I'll wear those any time of year.
Well, it's like my problem is I've literally got 3 separate wardrobes. Work, dressy casual, casual.
Do you guys feel like when you were kids you wore more long sleeve shirts than you do as an adult?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of needed to.
Like, I feel like when I was a kid I had like winter clothes, and my parents always made me wear long sleeve shirts and a coat, and I would always be too hot.
I just had to wear long sleeves so I wouldn't burn up all the time.
Do you have
I wear
very
sweaters.
fair skin?
Yeah, I burn really quick now.
That sucks.
I could be outside for a half hour and have blisters starting to form.
Ooh.
So yeah, not fun.
You and my sister would get along great. She's so pale she burns if she thinks about going outside. She tells people she's half albino and people actually believe her.
I just have fair Irish skin. See, Fishhook's talking about always long sleeve shirts, but do you wear long sleeve t-shirts or flannels? Like button up flannels are different than a long sleeve t-shirt, I feel like. Long sleeve t-shirts like fit tight on your arm so you don't get them all the way up, where like a button up you can roll the sleeve up versus like shove it up.
I wear sweaters a lot. Like nicer sweaters.
Like pullover sweaters?
No, not even that. Like nice dress sweaters. Kate knows what I'm talking about. You might not.
Dudes don't have that. Like,
yeah. Well, like for me, it works because they're nice enough that I can wear it with like a skirt or a pair of dress pants to work. Because it's a lot harder to find winter dresses than it is to find summer dresses.
Right.
I hate shopping, but so it's like I like sweaters, but also I'm always so cold at work. I wear sweaters all year because the office is always freezing. I also keep my coat on all the time at work these days because I'm cold.
I think I have like one or two. I have one pullover like sweater thing that like zips, like it's like from like
you
here.
wear like a collared shirt underneath it.
Oh no, it's got like a pretty big collar of its own, but it's like it like zips up and then buttons. The only other one I have is from when I worked at AT&T, but it's got like a tiny little AT&T tag on the bottom that I think I'm gonna cut off, so then I have two of them.
There you go. I mean, you're lucky though, because it's like since you work from home, you can wear whatever the heck you want.
That's true. I hate business casual more than anything. That's a dumb thing. Like, if you want to dress nice, that's cool. But when it's like, you have to wear, like, khakis and a polo, I'm like, for what? If I work in an office, who am I here to impress? Like,
I have to wear high heels.
You have to? Like, you can't wear, like, flats?
I could if they didn't, like, literally are falling apart. I mean, if I could get some, yeah, I'm just, again, too lazy to go shopping. But they're like, it has to be dress shoes, and it's just the only dress shoes I have right now are heels.
That's fair.
And shoes are expensive.
Yeah, shoes ain't cheap. Clothes ain't cheap in general.
No, you can get clothes cheap. If you go thrifting and you do it right, you can get really nice clothes for really cheap. Shoes, on the other hand, that's kind of gross. So,
well, that and you have to like get extra lucky to find the right size shoe and like the exact shoe that you want.
Whee! I still have my cardboard tube and I am happy.
This is why we're getting you more. Don't worry.
I already have like 4 other tubes of wrapping paper that I'm not going to need because I've already wrapped all my presents.
I don't remember. We got some like really cool wrapping paper this year and didn't even use it. I think it had dinosaurs on it, or cats.
Those are 2 very different things.
Well, we looked at 2 different ones. Okay.
Demon, do you have pets?
No. I wish.
Me neither. I want a puppy.
See, for me, I want birds. I want big birds.
Ooh.
Like hyacinth macaws and cockatoos.
That's awesome.
Them some fancy pets.
Yeah, and the hyacinth is the largest of the parrots, so...
Do they talk?
Yeah. And they've got a massive beak that, if you aren't careful, is going to break your finger if not take it off.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
That sounds terrifying.
I mean, that's why you want to hand raise them, though, so that way they don't get into that wanting to bite people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And especially if you do it, like, they know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you ever get one, post pictures because that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're also about $1,500 each.
Oof.
Yeah, they're not a cheap bird.
And you wouldn't want to go on Craigslist for something like that, where you would want to raise it from.
You'd probably wind up going to a bird farm or something like that, and that's where it'd come from. It'd be like all its feathers are falling out, and you don't know why.
And it swears for no reason, and you don't want it to.
At the most inopportune time, too.
Yeah.
Your grandmother comes over. Ah!
Did he just... Yep. The bird did. Just move on. Pretend it didn't happen. It'll be okay.
My grandmother had a neighbor who had a bird that would say, "Don't poop in my soup."
What?
Yes, there's worse things it could say.
Yeah, it would say, "Don't poop in my soup."
What happened in that bird's life?
That's what I always want to know. I'm like, where did that bird learn a phrase like that?
Probably from her, because it was always out of its cage and probably on her.
So it was her saying it to the bird.
Probably.
And then the bird was like, I learned it.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's hilarious. Good grief. So it's the time of year for Christmas songs on the radio. And there's the Last Christmas Challenge. Have y'all heard of that?
Nope.
No.
It's where you try to get through the whole month without hearing the song Last Christmas.
I think I've made it so far.
Well, I haven't heard.
I heard it on Thanksgiving, but I haven't heard it this month yet because I don't listen to the radio.
Yeah, I think I've made it.
I have not heard one single Christmas song yet, but I don't listen to the radio.
Jingle bells,
Oh,
Christmas
neither.
sales, mom's in jail and miffed. Oh, she fought like Tyson when someone grabbed her gift. Hey, jingle bells, Christmas sale.
Thought that was
Santa
going somewhere
sale,
else.
Or she'll be spending Christmas in an 8x8 cell.
Yeah, I thought that was going somewhere else. I'm glad it didn't.
Do I want to know where you thought that was going?
Nope, don't worry about it. We'll just pretend that it didn't happen. It's okay. Yeah, I heard like a couple Christmas songs, but I don't remember what they were. Like I tune them out.
Yeah. The one thing I try to avoid around the Christmas season is that remake of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," but it's actually about a soldier who's alone.
Never heard it.
Oh, it's when you actually read it, it's extremely deep, and you find out throughout the entire story that the soldier has severe PTSD. His
Oh.
family's left him. His demons are always there, and he stays awake and he tells Santa, "Don't worry, I got everything covered here."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it sounds like one I'd want to avoid too.
Yeah, it gets hard, and I've told people many times, do not send that to me.
Good.
Yeah, good. I hope no one does.
Yeah.
I've got another stupid Christmas parody if y'all want to hear that.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
He took her spot at the local mall. Out jumped my dear sweet grandma. With a frown on her face, she slammed reverse. Boy, move that car, because I got here first. Ho, 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 it was her parking spot. Ho, 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 now it's not. So please call the mall cops quick, 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 because Granny's gonna whack him with her walking stick.
Oh, God.
The man said, "Lady, move along, doggone it. This spot doesn't have your name on it." Grandma said as the man got slapped, "Why, this spot's for the handicapped." No, 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 he wouldn't go. No, 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 he wouldn't go. So please call the mall cops quick, 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 because Granny's gonna whack him with her walking stick. As I die over here.
Oh.
Jeez.
Ow.
Well, now that we have heard the better version of Christmas songs, we're getting close to the end of the show. So, Mallet, we have stuff we have to talk about.
Yes, we do.
So, guys, we said there was an announcement, and here's your announcement. This is Mallet and I's last formal show. So, typically, the hosts of TRUtalk have hosted for a year to a year and a half, and that's what we're at. So we're ready to move on and work on something a little bit different, as well as get some fresh hosts in here. So I don't want to say who is planning to take over yet because we're still working out the details. So I don't want to say anything and then that changes and we have to do like a whole recall and everything. It's a whole thing. But we have talked to two people who are talking about taking over the show and are wonderful hosts. So we know them. You guys know them. I'll just say that. How about that? So, Mallet, thanks for hosting the show with me. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Yeah. We'll have one last thing where we're going to do an official handover kind of thing, like Gamer Dad and Grindhead Jim did for us. So that'll be in January. The plan as of now, unless it changes, is the first Tuesday in January, which is the 7th. So it'll be same place, same time, all that fun jazz. But yeah, we're going to go on and work on something a little bit different. We want to still do something together, but we're still working out the details. But like I said, more importantly is we wanted to give somebody else in the TRU community a chance to run the show, because that's what it's all about, is the TRU community coming together and having the affiliates on and making sure that they get to introduce themselves to the community. And I think having two new hosts come in and make a fresh show will help with that. So everybody who's listened so far, thank you guys. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. If you've listened live, listen on your podcast app, watch on YouTube, whatever.
Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans.
Yeah, we go off on tangents a lot, so thanks for following us, because we don't follow ourselves sometimes, but we get there. It's kind of a slowly but surely, but we get there.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening half the time, but thanks for sticking with us.
We don't know what's happening right now.
Exactly.
Demon's going crazy over here.
I know.
Now he's an old Western film. Hee-yaw!
The filters.
I don't know what's
so much
happening.
fun.
I don't know what's happening right now, but I know I've had a blast. I hope you guys have, or at least have tolerated us,
Have dealt with us.
put up with us, you know.
Yeah, I had to get out of the straitjacket for a little while.
That's fair. We can only hold you so much. You gotta be your true self.
Exactly.
That's what life's all about. But again, Mallet, thanks for hosting with me, guys. Everybody who's been around, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Demon Man, I know you said you were planning to come back in May. Do you have any ideas for your return yet, or is that still more of a let's finish school and then we'll look at this?
Right now, I'm looking at probably the second weekend after I graduate. So it'll be like second week in May because I graduate the 1st.
Okay.
So that way I can unwind from school for a minute first and then make sure everything's set up the way I want it for when I start back up.
Smart.
So,
makes sense. Well, good. So, guys, there is his Twitch channel. You can go follow him. Drop a follow on his channel. Like you said you play a lot of single-player games. Are you planning to keep up with that?
I so far right now, that's probably what I'm going to be looking at, especially if they get Subnautica below 0 close to finished it by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that, even with its little jump scares in there.
Man, I remember watching people play that game.
It's fun.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I like it.
It is.
Well, cool. Is there anywhere else people can find you, man? You got the Twitter and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
The tweet box.
I got the Twitter. I don't even remember what it is right now. And of course, I got a page that's not really functional as of yet on Facebook under DemonSalvo on Twitch. So, let's see. What is my Twitter here? Let me pull it up.
I got it. I just linked it in chat. It's
found it.
Yep.
See?
I had to tag you earlier, so I had to dig for it anyway. So I had it pretty readily available.
All right, that works. Perfect.
Well, cool, man. Thanks for coming on. It was good getting to talk to you. I know you've been super busy with school, and you got stuff going on in your own life, like everyone does. So it's been good to talk with you and catch up a little bit.
Definitely, it was fun being here.
Yeah. So look for him coming back to Twitch on his own channel, and likely back on the podcast at some point in the future, I'm sure. Like I said, he's been around the TRU Fam for a while and is a pretty core, hardcore TRU Fam member. So, Mallet, for the final time, thank you for hosting with me. It's been fun. What do you want people to know about you? Where can they keep up with you when we're done with this podcast?
Well, as for those of you who were here last week, I made my official announcement. I'm pretty much done streaming on a regular basis, but you can always find me on Discord, on Twitter at MalletEditor. I'm still gaming. I'm just not on camera. But I know you and I have been talking some ideas to where I'm not going to be completely off screen for the rest of my life. So hopefully we'll have some announcements about that in the near future, but who knows? So,
well, cool. Thanks again. I appreciate it. This has been a fun show. I don't know. There's not a lot of other people that I could have or would have wanted to host it with, so I'm glad to have you here every week. I put her Twitter in chat as well, guys. If you want to go drop Mallet a follow on Twitter to keep up with the things she's doing and her thoughts and opinions on whatever she tweets about, because that's what Twitter's about, man. That's the whole thing. Guys, as always, you can find me, twitch.tv/Mr. Pure Instinct, pretty much every day. If you can't find me there, you can probably find a video on my YouTube channel or on Twitter. So all of it is Mr. Pure Instinct. Feel free to drop follows and all that fun stuff. Like Mallet said, we are in the discussion of what we want to make next. we haven't fully flushed out the ideas yet. So follow both of us on the tweets, the tweeter, and that's where you can probably find out about some ideas of what we're going to be doing. So
whatever it is, it'll be on MPI's channel. So
there you go. Whatever it is, it's on my channel. Apparently, I'm gonna do it.
Why would it be on mine?
I don't know. Why not?
Because then I have to run things on the tech side, and that takes effort.
That's
what's the point of having a co-host if you can't get him to do all the tech work?
That's a fair point. I have done all the work all the time. God.
Well, yeah, you're the partner. I'm just here to look pretty.
That's fair. That's fair. That's not why they brought me on. That's for damn sure. Guys, on the TRUtalk side, though, this is our last time signing off. So thank you guys all again for sticking with us over this past year and a half. It's been fun. It's been good to get to know so many TRU affiliates and people in the TRUgaming community. I've appreciated everybody that's been on and everybody that watches. So as always, for the final time, this podcast will be on your favorite podcasting platforms tomorrow, which is Wednesday, around 11 a.m. and on YouTube. So if you missed any of this episode or you just want to go back and listen to it again, you can catch up on your favorite podcasting platform or YouTube. Your choice, whichever one you want to do. If you guys have any ideas for the next season when these new hosts take over, tweet it at the TRUtalk podcast. I will still be logged into it until we pass off the show, and possibly after that, who knows. But it's just at TRUtalk_podcast on Twitter, or send an email to TRUtalkpodcast@TRUgaming.com. I don't think anyone's ever done that. You could be the first. It'd be cool. People might like you. I don't know.
We have an email address?
Yeah, nobody ever sends anything to it, but we have it. I get a lot of YouTube notifications about, like, somebody uploaded a video. I'm like, cool, thanks.
We're not that exciting to
I don't care.
We're not exciting enough to get emails.
But yeah, guys, stick around. We're gonna do one final MPI and Mallet editor TRUtalk raid to someone.
Who are we raiding?
I don't know yet. We're going to find out. We'll find out. But guys, again, thanks for tuning in so many times over the past year. It's been fun. We'll see you guys in whatever we do next, and in January whenever we pass it on to the new hosts. So make sure you guys are there to support them because, like I said, the two hosts we're giving it to are great people. They're huge supporters of the TRU Fam and TRUgaming, so I know they're going to do a great job. So just be prepared to support them. So Demon, again, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it, especially with us springing it on you literally like 2 minutes before we went live that this is our last show.
Yeah, by the way.
Yeah, and that you are our last guest of all time.
Well, it was an honor.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you, man. So, guys, make sure you follow him as well. Again, he'll be back in May after he graduates, like an awesome dude, kicking butt at school. Better student than I ever was, that's for sure. So, guys, we'll see you all later around the TRUgaming Discord and whatever we do in the future. So, bye, everybody.
Das Vidania.